Hello and welcome to the Cockney Cruiser channel. My name's Tony. I am the Cockney Cruiser, believe it or not. Anyway, so what am I here for? I'm here to host the new show that we're doing on the Cockney Cruiser, the OnYerBike show. Now I hear you ask, what is the OnYerBike show going to be all about? Well, the OnYerBike show predominantly is going to be about used, mint or near mint accessories for your motorbike. I will be doing reviews on that, and you will be able to find out where you can get top quality gear for a fraction of the price that you would have to pay for in the shops. Now, the gear that we're predominantly going to be looking at is vlogging gear, motorbike camping gear. We're going to do a little bit of wildlife and landscape photography. We're going to go on rideouts to some of the UK's beautiful villages, and we'll give you a brief overview of where to eat, drink or stay if you fancy a ride out to any of them, so that you can enjoy yourself on your bike. And that is the word, on your bike. We'll also be taking you out to some of the motorbike cafes that are around the UK, and believe me, there are plenty of them. Now at this point I have to say to you that this channel is not sponsored or even monetised. This is just a 70-year-old geezer doing his bit for fun, really. This is just for fun. So all I can say, and all that's left for, is welcome to the OnYerBike show. So, in answer to your question, what am I going out on? We're going to go out on this wonderful bike, which I purchased a few months back. Second hand, great bike. It's a Suzuki Intruder M800. So it's an 800cc engine, and I've got to say, when you come out for a ride with me down to Oundle and Old Country Park, I hope you enjoy the ride. I know I will. Okay, right, let's look at some of the controls on this lovely bike. Here we've got a really nice easy clutch, nice and light, easy to operate. We've got the headlight control, got the flasher on the front, which is a yellow switch. You've got your indicators left and right and cancel, and you've got your hazard warnings. All easy to get to and easy to operate whilst you're riding, and of course you've got your hooter down the bottom. This came with the bike when I bought it. They are heated hand grips, and that's an invaluable accessory. Moving over, I've got twin USB port here, so I can charge everything as I'm going along. I have my vlogging equipment tripod here, or monopod as it is, and I use my equipment on there. Just here I have my phone mount, which is absolutely superb. I've got another mount for a camera. Now let's have a look at the other side. On the right hand side, as with all the bikes in this country, we have the accelerator, we have the ignition on and off, and we have the ignition starter and the front brake. That's brake fluid. Petrol, and a gauge just down here. Left signal, headlights, neutral. That's for the half moon speedometer, so I can change on programs, and the right indicator. Right, we're off. First stop the mill at Barnwell, then on to the country park. Now en route we will pass through a couple of villages, Upper Benefield, then through a snaky bit of country lane up to Lower Benefield. We will also talk about the Intruder M800, my bike, its handling, comfort and performance. So let's get cruising. The M800 has a 4-stroke liquid cooled 805cc engine, which is fuel injected. It weighs about a quarter of a tonne, and don't I know it? Yeah, that's right. I dropped it once and nearly had a bloody coronary trying to pick it up. Anyway, the drivetrain is shaft driven, and it's got a 5-speed gearbox. I think it might look a bit better, or feel a bit better if it had a 6th gear of some description, or an overdrive. Anyway, the shaft drive makes it a really smooth ride. She holds about 15.5 litres, that's just under 4.5 gallons. And according to Motorcycle News, and I'm going to quote something that they have published about the M800, they say that the M800 is a substantial bike with more than sufficient performance. Its handling and braking are among the best of any bikes of this type and age, and there's virtually no mechanical or cosmetic issues, and it can be a great value used bike. Well, what can I say? Since I've had the bike, I can only agree with that so far. Anyway, performance wise, she ain't half bad, with a top speed of about 110 mile an hour. She's got a great fuel consumption for an 800, especially with the weight of this bike. It's just over 42 miles a gallon, and it gives the tank a range of about 175 miles, which ain't too bad. I'm sure I'll find a garage in between stops there. So, more to the point, guys, how am I finding the ride? Well, quite frankly, it's superb, and if I'm honest, the comfort, the seat on this bike is sublime. I could probably stay on this bike for hours without even stopping, other than for fuel, of course. So we are now passing through Upper Benefield and making our way to a snaky bit of country lane where I'm going to test it on the bends. Why? I hear you ask, are you going to test it on the bends? Well, the foot pegs are quite large, and I know from a past experience that if you go too low, you'll damage our already beautiful potholed roads. So anyway, let's crack on and let's see how she handles. Yeah, again, quite happy, and although at a shade under 600 pounds in weight, because of the low centre of gravity, she's light and very easy to handle, so well chuffed, well happy. Okay, now we are coming into Lower Benefield. Such a small little village, blink and you'll miss it. There you go, gone. Did you see it? I didn't even see a pub in there. Anyway, now on to Oundle Mill and Barnwell Country Park. Then there will be a few snapshots of Oundle, and Gabby who has offered to do the narration for me, because you don't really want to hear my dulcet tones, not for this anyway. She'll give you an overview and brief history of both Barnwell Country Park and the lovely market town of Oundle. Okay, we're here at Oundle Mill. Just a quick stop, not that much to see. The restaurant is closed, and because it's winter there won't be much boating traffic around here that use the locks here. They goes from one level to the next, but it's still a nice place to stop. Maybe have a picnic or a short stroll down the towpath and take in the beauty that the River Nene has to offer. Now over to Gabby, who actually followed me around the rather scenic Barnwell Country Park.
Like many similar areas on the River Nene, Barnwell Country Park was developed from abandoned sand and gravel workings on the floodplain of the river just south of Oundle in the part of the area known as Rockingham Forest. The park is bounded on the northwest and southwest by a flood channel loop of the River Nene, known as the Backwater, and on the east by the A605 Barnwell Road. It consists of a series of willow-fringed lakes, short mown grass, coarser vegetation, conservation grassland, and small wooded areas. The lakes, picnic meadows, river, and the resident water birds make the park very attractive to visitors and in particular young families. The irregular shapes of the lakes provide different views around each corner and give a sense of progressive revelation to visitors. The park is flat and very accessible with a network of stone paths suitable for prams and wheelchairs. There is a ranger service on hand to answer visitors' queries and to provide general assistance. In 2007 to 2008, over 190,000 visits were made to the park. From the 2007 visitor surveys, picnicking, dog walking, leisurely strolls, feeding the water birds, fishing, and watching the wildlife are the main reason for visits. There is a hard-standing car park for 50 cars and the recreational meadows are used for overflow parking. So get on your bike and come on down and pay a visit. You won't regret it.
Thanks for that, Gabby. We'll now shoot off to Oundle Town Centre, where you can see some of the lovely places to visit should you choose to come up for a day trip or even a short stay.
Surrounded on three sides by the River Nene, Oundle is a beautiful stone-built market town that has served the surrounding valleys since Saxon times. The town centre has many fine stone houses over 300 years old, divided by narrow alleys and courtyards, above which the graceful spire of the parish church rises. Founded in the 14th century, the church has a 15th century porch and fine period screen work. Well worth a visit. Oundle Private School was re-endowed in 1556 by William Laxton, the town's grocer who eventually became Lord Mayor of London. One of the most interesting old inns, the Talbot Hotel, was rebuilt in 1626 with stone and fittings from Fotheringhay Castle, the scene of the execution of Mary Queen of Scots in 1587. It is believed that the imprint of a crown, on the dark polished wood of a stair balustrade, was made by the ring on Mary's finger as she gripped the rail for support on her way to the block. Little now remains of the castle, except for a mound which lies next to Fotheringhay Church, about 4 miles northeast of the town. There was once a well in Oundle, from which could clearly be heard a drumming noise at certain times. The beating of the drum was said to portend some great event. It was heard before the deaths of Charles II and James II. The well has now vanished but is commemorated in the name of Drumming Well Lane behind the Talbot Hotel. Two miles northeast stands Cotterstock Hall, a 12th century E-shaped manor house with fine gardens, where the English poet and dramatist John Dryden wrote many of his fables during the 15th century. Here are a few things to visit when you are in Oundle. 1 mile to the east is the small village of Ashton, home of the renowned World Conquer Championships. The Oundle International Festival with recitals, musical concerts, and films takes place in July. Oundle has a quaint old marketplace full of bespoke shops, 2 tea rooms and a number of traditional old pubs that serve good food. There is an interesting and lively market on Thursdays, where you can buy fresh bread and local produce. A farmers' market is also held on the second Saturday every month. The small museum in the former courthouse at the top of Mill Road provides interesting displays about Oundle's history from the prehistoric to modern times, including many exhibits from Roman, Saxon, and medieval periods. Oundle is an enjoyable place to walk through. There is also a footpath along the River Nene that takes you to the old mill at Bonwell, where we have just been, which incorporates an excellent restaurant. Next to which is Bonwell Country Park, a nature reserve containing many interconnecting lakes at the side of the river, perfect for walking, feeding the ducks, fishing, or visit one of the many bird hides and see our wonderful woodland and water birds. If you want to stay for a few days, then why not try the Talbot Hotel or Chapel Cottage? And if you are only planning a short day trip, then why not try one of the plethora of eating establishments, or pop into one of the tea rooms in Oundle Town Centre? So what are you waiting for? Get on your bike, come and pay a visit.
Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you have enjoyed this short journey with us in our first ever On Your Bike show. We hope you liked the bike. I would well recommend getting one if you can't go the extra mile for a Harley. In our next episode, we'll be taking a trip down to another market town, Market Harborough. Additionally, we'll be giving a first review of an accessory that fits nicely on the helmet, and that's the Ghost Drift XL vlogging camera. So join me next month, probably the end of February, when you can hop on the back and enjoy a ride down our beautiful country roads. Now, don't forget to subscribe, guys, because you'll be notified when the actual next episode's coming on. In the meantime, what can I say? Ride safe, stay safe, and keep well. And thank you so much for watching.